Hello everyone, I'm Becky Christensen O'Shields for CB Promotions, celebrating heritage and our Western lifestyle with the CB Cowgirls. I am so excited. Today I am bringing you a very first initial segment of a special story behind the story. You know, Becky, Bobby, Jean, and I, we have a revamped website. You can find us at cbcowgirls.com, and of course here on Facebook. We are just so excited because bi-weekly Becky will be bringing you updates, current standings, everything happening in the rodeo world to keep you abreast of it all. And of course, Bobby Jean, she'll be bringing you film and fashion, and I will be sharing with you some great stories of rodeo families, their history, their legacy, and I look forward to that throughout this next year. With this initial segment, I thought it only be fitting that I wanted to honor our rodeo family, my rodeo family, Christensen Brothers. And I just wanted to share a couple special stories with you. You'll see a picture posted alongside this video, and that picture is of a wagon wheel. And you might ask, why a wagon wheel? That wagon wheel is so significant, such an important part of our roots and our heritage. The picture of it, it's sitting by the walkway as you went into my grandmother's house, and for years it sat there silently. It watched everyone who walked through and everyone who walked out. But the story behind that wagon wheel is that it came off the actual wagon in 1911. My grandmother and my grandpa drove into the ranch, and this is where they would make their home. They were newly married. They were just trying to make a living. Times were tough back then. You know, they were milking cows and raising, my grandmother raised turkeys and cattle and hunting and trapping and just doing whatever they could to provide for them and their future children. Little did they know that it would become Christensen Brothers Rodeo Ranch, and the bucking stock would be what it would be known for. And that takes me back to another story. I remember my adopted grandfather, Clinton Hall, visiting around Grandma's wood stove there in the kitchen at the ranch, and you know, I mean, you know, it was spring, but you would still get cool and chilly days, so Grandma always had it stoked up. She cooked on it all the time. But anyway, Clint said, you know, Molly, if we could just get Mel Lambert down here to announce haying season, we'd get all that hay put up in the field so much faster. And we laughed about that because Daddy and Henry were all about rodeo. It didn't matter if we had cattle out on Dillard Road or if rain was predicted and there was some hay laying in the field. If it was time to put a rodeo on, that's what they did, and that was their first love and their only love. And that brings me back to the fact that our family's been so honored throughout the years. We have 3 bucking horses that are in the Pro Rodeo Hall of Fame in Colorado Springs, the first being Miss Klamath. Warpaint was inducted in 2011, and this past August we all gathered for the induction of a very special big yellow bareback horse that we love dearly, Smith and Velvet. Now, Smith and Velvet's life was cut tragically short as he was killed in a horrific truck accident some 34 years ago. But he takes his rightful place along the bucking horses and all the greats. There's so many there at the Hall of Fame. You walk through that front door and it just takes your breath away when you stop and think of our history and what these wonderful legacies, these families, these people, these cowboys, these cowgirls have left us, this future generation. Important for us to pass it on down. I want to share with you now a video clip from my brother's speech at the induction. Again, we were just so very honored. Wish that all of our rodeo family could have been there with us. I know that some of them were unable to attend, but it was a special time. I hope you enjoy it, and I look forward to seeing you all soon again with another story for CB Promotions, celebrating heritage and the Western lifestyle with the CB Cowgirls. God bless everyone. Bye-bye.
Number wrong, but I think if I've got my calculations right, there are 5 generations of the Christensen family here today, and here to accept this award is none other than Bobby Christensen Jr.
Okay, Ladies and gentlemen, cowboys and cowgirls. I'm going to try and speak a little slow today because I'm a little short on teeth but long on memory. And if I have to get on tilt, have to pull a little out of it, please bear with me. These times are special, as Randy said here at the hall. Last time I was here for War Paint, Happy Barrett was here. My dear friend Harry Bolt was sitting right there. But enjoy who you meet and greet, because it's a wonderful time. Christensen Brothers has been blessed to have 3 great bucking horses in this hall. And mind you, they all come from Indian reservations. So all you stock contractors out there, if you happen to get a call from an Indian that says he has a bucking horse, you best go take a look. Anyway, when I got, let me find out where I'm at. Okay. When Miss Primus went in, my dad called on announcer Mel Lambert to come to say a few words. And when War Paint came in, I called on Mac Lockley, rodeo announcer, to come and help me. So when Byron Walker called me and said Smith was going in, the first person I called was my brother Randy Corley. And I said, Randy, can I hire you one more time? And he said, what's up? And I said, Smith is going into the hall and I want you to come and speak for a little bit for me. He said, don't worry, brother, I'll be there because I'm going in with it. That was a surprise. Then I found out Cody Custer was going in. Custer spent a few years at our ranch too, so they got some tales from the Christensen ranch. And it's kind of like a family reunion here for me today. I got so many relatives here I can't count that far. Anyway, on to Smith and Velvet. I'd kind of like to tell a little story, short story, early story about him. George Abel was the man that owned him over on the Paiute Indian Reservation in McDermott. And he called us, and along with, I don't know, we got quite a few calls on this big bad yellow horse and nobody could ride it over there. So finally, Mel Lambert had his plane then. I got Dad in there with Mel and Jerry Hickson, he's a pretty good little bronc rider, went with him. And they flew over there to McDermott, Nevada, and it's not very big if you've never been there. Blink your eyes and you'll miss it. But anyway, I was talking to Jerry a couple weeks ago, and he said, he said, when we got out of the plane, got to the arena, they already had the yellow horse in the chutes. And he said he was pretty nervous and had a lot of guys holding his head and stuff. And Jerry said, when I called for him, he jumped out there and he just cartwheeled, 2 jumps and cartwheeled over backwards with it. And of course, my dad immediately said, we can't have anything like that in our herd. And Jerry said, well, let's try him again, Bobby, because I think he'll buck. And so they brought him back, and Jerry said, keep everybody away from his head. And he got in there and he was getting ready. And he said, Bobby, right before I called for him, I looked out in the arena and he said there were 10 Indian pickup men with reins in one hand and a beer in the other. So evidently they weren't figuring on taking him up. Anyway, Jerry said he jumped out and started bucking down the chutes and kept getting stronger and stronger. And he finally had to double grab the buck rein, keep from getting bucked off. And it's a pole arena, and Smith jumped the poles at the end of the arena in with the horses he came in with, and Jerry got off in there. So that was our first experience with him. We bought the horse for a whopping $600. And named him Mr. Smith after Gene Smith, the Secretary-Treasurer of St. Paul Rodeo Association. And he was pretty good right at first, but he was thin, tall and thin, and I mean he bucked like hell for about 5 or 6 seconds. Poetry in motion, and then stop and spin. So that was in the bronc riding. So we put him in the bareback riding, and some guys they'd get through on him and get the full 8, or else he'd do the spin. And especially when the good hands got on him, because he couldn't buck them off as easy as the cowboys at McDermott. And it got so bad that everybody started calling him a phony son of a gun and all that. So I just, one summer I just said, turn him out and let him go, because I had a couple guys who wanted to send him some other place. And I didn't bring him in till, I think it was 75, we getting ready for Oakdale. And I said, I'm going to take it. And then my stock foreman, Bill Stanton, he got mad at me. He said, you don't want to take that phony son of a gun with you. So I put him in the slack at Oakdale, California. That was our first rodeo. And who the heck should draw him but Jack Ward, world champ. And so about 5 or 6 seconds out there, I don't know if Jack spurred over his neck or Smith bucked him off, but both things happened. And Jack was hung up on the left side running alongside of him. And he pulled vaulted back over to get his hand out of the rigging. And Smith went on from there. He was second best horse at the 76 NFR, and then started his run on the 4 titles. So, on behalf of the entire Christensen family, I'd like to thank the PRCA and the Hall for this fine award. Thank you. Miss Becky, come on up here and help me, honey. This is my sister, folks. She got all the looks.
I do believe it is safe to say that our rodeo community is filled with characters.